culinary arts, so you don't kill somebody on your first date when you're making him dinner, or her dinner, you know? Boys cook too. So it gives them the opportunity, not that they necessarily are going to pursue that whole career, but they can take that one course. Now if they want to do that, they're going to be spending on the bus to take.
My neighbor's son, he does a computer course here. She has to drive him down Farmington, plus 25 minutes to get on a bus to go back. No, to me, that bus could pick him up all the way, but it doesn't work out that way.
It's just a lot of buses back.
Yeah.
Now here's an example. If you'll see in the handout that I went through the program, you see there's chart pages of the comparison of just course titles, and it really doesn't give you the whole picture, because you really need to read the description too. So I just picked two departments to look at. And the first one is the English department, and I'm looking just at the electives of the English department. And Farmington High School offers 11 electives, and Kingswood Regional offers 7. Well, gee, that means that Farmington is offering more. Well, let's look a little bit deeper into it. Of those 11 elective courses for English in Farmington, 5 of them are for credit recovery. So if the student failed by 50 or higher, they can take one of these courses in order to get half credit, rather than take that English class over again. We'll give you an easier, smaller class so you can have credit. It's a credit recovery. So almost half of those electives in English at Farmington High School are in order to give you an option because you failed the first course.
So you would take that in conjunction to your class the following year. So you would be, if you had to take English again, you would take English for the following the next year as well as the class.
I don't believe so. I'm reading the program of studies, it says credit recovery classes of students who receive, exactly what it says on there, 50 or above take to recover half of credit towards graduation. So if you failed English 1, then you can take 2 electives to get credit.
Well, you're taking it.
So, and then they have one of them that just, it kind of just blew my mind, real life writing. It focuses on basic writing skills. And again, that's, they have credit. It's like, this is at the high school level, and we're talking about basic writing skills.
So if they fail English 1 and they take 2 electives,
Yeah, that
have
replaces
credit.
English
The next year they take English 2 and fail that, take 2 more electives.
Maybe next year they're ready for it. Should be ready for it next year.
Well, the superintendent or whoever said no, it didn't work.
No. Okay, can you clarify it then?
Can you clarify it?
Because
Work that way, and
I
not
just went
easier,
through the-
smaller classes, I think, for free. The fact of the matter is, you fail English 1, you're going to take English 1 again. If you fail it for half a year, you have the opportunity to take an elective to try to get half the credits. But you've got to accumulate a certain number of credits in English every single year. No, they're not smaller, easier, watered down courses. In terms of the basic, real life basic writing, not everybody is going to go to college that we have. We have kids with skills all over the spectrum that we need to work with. We have kids who may be special ed kids, maybe kids who just have a difficult time at school. We need to offer programming for those kids so they can develop the writing skills, so they can get out in the world, get a job, and they're able to write or communicate in a written form as they need to on that job. Those are some of the courses that we deal with. We try to create courses that are going to be useful to the kids that we have the goals that we set. It's called career and college ready. It's not all college ready. It's career and college ready. So some of these courses are going to focus on kids who are going to leave the high school and be going to work. Others are going to focus on kids going on to further education. That's the diversity we work with.
I would encourage you, if you have the opportunity, to look at, obtain through the websites, you can literally go in and ask for the Farmington Program of Studies and the Kingswood Program of Studies. And there is a description for every class. And as I said, this real life writing, the court, it says right on your handout, I'm sorry, I don't know the pages. It says it focuses on basic writing skills, including mechanics of uses, vocabulary, application excellence, business writing, resume writing, and selection types.
And what does Kingswood on, or kids on, can I ask the gentleman over there?
Jack, would you be able to respond to if a student fails English by 50 or above, what is their
So I'm not too comfortable with this. I know we do have, certainly, we can get them all in, have it out there, and get them all in.
I think it's important to know, Kingswood, like Farmington, and like any other high school, is going to offer opportunities for kids to get back on track for graduation and fail the course. Kingswood's very, very good at that, has a very, very high graduation rate, so obviously they're very good at it. So I'm trying really hard not to make this well, they're good and they're bad and all that kind of stuff. It's not about that. It's every high school that genuinely cares about its kids, and Kingswood absolutely does have this Farmington. Is going to try and offer opportunities to keep kids on track to graduate. That's our primary focus. That's our goal. Every kid graduates. And so I'm sure Kingswood has courses that they offer. I'm sure that they structure their courses so that if they're going to course, you can carry English 1 and English 2 in the same year. I know Farmington does that as well.
Therefore, students will not be allowed to take 2 English courses at the same time.
So those opportunities are there to can both. But I think we all try. We want everything to go.
Absolutely. And I agree, everybody wants everyone to graduate.
But I think even when I went to school in '72, when I graduated, we had stuff like that in fall. You could make it up in the summer. I don't know how they work now, but, you know, I think back then, everybody wanted everybody to graduate.
Of course.
You know, so it's like that always.
Yeah.
Does Wentworth Douglas have summer school?
Wentworth Douglas.
Sorry, we all do the same thing.
Yes, yeah, we do have
Summer school? And we would have to bus our kids down there?
actually, if you're in homeschool programs, for the most part, you have to provide your own transportation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any time that kids are going down there, we're responsible for the transportation. We're responsible for our transportation now, so it's really no problem. Then another example I pulled out was the business and information technology and computer education. In the program of studies at Farmington High School, they have 16 courses listed, but only 8 of them say that they may not be offered every year. So they may be like, if you're going to take 1, you take 2, they don't offer 1 the second year, or maybe depend upon teacher availability, I'm not sure, but 8 of them you know for sure they're going to have, 8 of them you don't know, and then the other courses are offered through Kingswood Regional. Kingswood Regional has 14 courses, and one of them is recommended just for the special ed department, so that's just a differentiation there. Extracurricular and sports programs, somebody brought that up earlier, and I got all the information from everybody, and I appreciated them getting it to me, but things have changed since I was a child. And like, if it's specified boys, I wrote boys. If it's specified girls, I wrote girls. And then like in Farmington Middle School, no, the high school, they specifically say co-ed. And then the rest of them is like, well, I don't know, like, I know in other parts of the country, the girls play football and hockey with the boys, and do they, only girls play volleyball? I don't know. So I tried to just, the ones that are absolutely have the same name to them, between Henry Wilson and Kingswood Middle, boys soccer, girls soccer, boys basketball, girls basketball, softball, volleyball, baseball, student council. Softball, volleyball, baseball, if they're co-ed, I don't know. So, but these are the ones that they have that are the same. Henry Wilson, what they have unique to themselves that aren't listed in the Kingswood Middle School are Spirit, Go Green, Yearbook, Tech Club, Yearbook Club, Chorus, Drama, Ski Club, Time for Kind, Band, Literature Club, and Literary Aid Groups. Those are extracurricular activities that Henry Wilson has that you don't see in the list for the Kingswood Middle School.
Can I ask a question? I'm looking at this. This is the Crown Connecticut Boys swimming team. Where are they swimming at? Sunrise?
Go to Dover.
They go to Dover?
Right.
I
You
doubt
have
it.
a couple of students who are supervised by faculty members on behalf of parents and students in the NHIA sanctioned events in the school.
Yes, I have a question about that, because my daughter was swimming competitively, and we searched long and hard to try and find somewhere for her to swim. She ultimately ended up swimming with the Seacoast Swim Club down in Dover, but we couldn't find anything for her in Marshwood. We were actually really pleased to see that Kingswood had a good team. So, I think it's if there's something like that with office or students, it would have been easier for us to.
Started
Where is it listed? Where is that information listed?
It would be something you could probably want to talk to the athletic, it probably is going to be on the tabs on the athletic page of the school website. It's not something you would normally put in program of studies, because the courses that you enroll in per se.
Okay, then the extracurricular and sports programs that didn't have the same type of title as the ones at Henry Wilson that are only at Kingswood Middle. Alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, art club, family career, community leaders of America, which when I was a kid, they used to be homemakers. Chess club, world language, Lego club, boys tennis, girls tennis, cross-country, field hockey, football, golf, ice hockey, Nordic skiing, and outdoor track. Again, I don't know if some of these, like where they don't specify boys and girls, does that mean ice hockey is co-ed? I don't know. Said hockey. Then, at the high school level, this, again, still, I don't know about all the co-ed stuff. At the similar ones between Farmington and Kingswood, we have boys and girls soccer, boys and girls basketball, golf, math team, French club, and National Honor Society. So those they share. The ones that are unique to Farmington High School, boys baseball, girls volleyball, co-ed swimming, student council, chess club, Spanish club, boys football, co-ed bass fishing, chorus and band, winter carnival, drama, talent search, girls softball, co-ed spirit, class officers, FAMI, ski club, and upward bound.
I'm just a little confused.
Yeah.
We're not seeing like the Spanish and French and all that stuff.
This is what is listed in their program of studies.
There's definitely a French club, because my son is highly involved in it.
Maybe your kids like that. Maybe Samantha's kid wants to stay in like
I can tell you that girls soccer in the middle school was a big controversy this year. I can tell you
Well, this
that.
is at the high school level, so. And then the ones that are unique to Kingswood Regional, alpine skiing, baseball, they didn't say if it's co-ed or not. They didn't specify boy or girl. Boys tennis, girls tennis, cross-country, field hockey, football, ice hockey, Nordic skiing, outdoor track, softball, volleyball, Tech Students Association, Grand State Challenge, future business leaders, Honor Society, DECA, Close Up, Strongy Club, Peer Outreach, Mock Congress, Leo Club, Computer Tech Squad, Youth in Government, Straight Gay Alliance, Junior Seniors Honor Program, the Future Educators Association, and Health Occupation Students of America. And now a lot of those, well, not a lot of them, bunches of them come out of, because they have the technical school there, so they have, some of the Health Occupation Students of America because they're getting up there.
Can I just go back to high school just to go to some of the clubs?
That's what I said. I want to go back.
It would be great to go to some of them.
Linda? Yes.
Where did you get your information about what's provided at Farmington?
Like at the middle
It was
school?
just made that if you go to the athletic tab, you can find swimming, which you just.
No, I said that's where you should be.
So
I got-
I'm just curious,
The high
you
school,
obviously did research on find this.
the high school information
On
is on the back page of their program of studies, and the middle school I got yesterday from the principal.
So there's sports is there. So as a parent, if you
No,
want information
No,
about
I
this, you should go to the.
I got it directly from the principal because it was not in the, I don't have a program of studies for middle school. I just needed to find that information out, whereas at Kingswood Middle School was on their website. So I was able to pull it off the website. Okay, so what does all that mean? Historical graduation rates. Substantial difference, post-secondary degree, there's a difference there too. Post-secondary degree means a 2 or 4 year accredited school giving you some type of a diploma or a certificate. And we know we have a lot of kids from both communities who don't go beyond because either they're taking the technical stuff or they're working in family businesses and stuff. Mr. Mullen,
Do you know what the state average is?
if I did, I'd have it on the
I
outside.
figured that. I thought you might have it up there.
Do you have it in your head? Can you
I
share it?
don't have it in my head.
Linda, what year are those numbers from?
This is historical, so.
What is
I knew it.
historical? Because both high schools have higher graduation rates now.
Now, yeah.
Both schools.
But it's not just 1 year, so it's historical.
The most recent number for Farmington is 12.7% dropout rate over 4 years.
And I know as a state, they're instituting all new programs, kids are dropping out, ways to bring them back in. Okay, emotional impact of relocation on the students. There was a lot of concern about, my kids are, I'm sorry, yes?
State average is 86.68%, you got it in here.
Thank you. See, I did know it. Okay.
It's a number.
All our kids are going on the bus together. If your kid was on the bus today, your kid's gonna be on the bus tomorrow. It's not one child. I did a lot of research and everything talked about the impact, the emotional impact of a child moving to a new school. That's one kid. This is the whole grade that is going up. So yes, they're gonna miss their friends in Farmington, but they're still gonna be in Middleton. And when they get to the middle school, they're not the only ones who are going to be new at the middle school. All these towns are new at the middle school. They all come in, the kids from Effingham, Durham. That first day they walk in the door at 7th grade, they're all new. They have a Bridges program for kids who are graduating 6th grade, and then they have orientation for older students from the high school. So they don't get just thrust in and that's it, like they did when we were kids. They have programs for the kids to become acclimated. Farmington is still going to be where it is. It's still going to be down the road. Kids have friends in Farmington. The way that you have to take them on the weekend to go play, it's going to be the same thing. They're just not going to be having lunch with them. And you really have to weigh the level of education and the opportunity to make friends against not seeing that same kid from Farmington every day.
Quantify that number, because I don't think people realize how many kids are actually going to be going over all together.
Well,
I'm not sure, I think I know, but I don't know.
Ken, can you spout out for
Right
the
now,
high school
we're
kids?
projecting about 126 students.
Yeah.
On average, you're running on average 15 to 20 students per grade. We're pretty even in our grades.
It's everybody who's on the bus now, it'll be the same grades.
126 for middle school.
The social impacts of having a school here, now we're talking about the elementary school, is that you can build a school and community partnership. The kids will be able to work with and get to know the people in their community, the municipality, the selectmen, the police department, the fire department. They may come in, they talk to the kids. It'll give us a chance as adults to work with the kids. They will develop their own school culture, they'll have their own identity, and it will make it easier for parents and grandparents and other people who just like working with kids to have that opportunity here in town. You know, we've got a lot of people who, their kids have grown up and gone, but still enjoy working with little kids. And if you've got a school right here in story time, you can maybe we'll be able to have something you can come in and read with the kids, work with them on it. Yes.
If I may, one of the important things about a local school too, and fortunately we have elementary schools in each one of our towns except for Brookfield. Volunteerism is a huge thing in our communities. And every year for the last 20 years, I think, all of our elementary schools have won the Blue Ribbon Volunteer Award. The number of hours that parents, grandparents put into the school district every year is just phenomenal. I think last year, 6,800 hours that were donated across the district. So having a community school is really just a tremendous opportunity.
I mean, we on the recreation department, we have seen it. Halloween, I don't know if any of you were here for Halloween. Some of you were outside because you could not get into the building. So there is a desire to do stuff together as a community, and this will help us do that. How it's going to affect the residents, it's going to become, and that was something that the school board member from Effingham told us, it becomes a town hub, it becomes a cornerstone. We won't have to be abusing this poor ancient building, and John will finally be able to get that money and fix it without.
We have a lot of them.
We can have town meetings there. We will have, I anticipate, video availability, that we can start recording our own meetings and rebroadcasting. The recreation committee is really looking forward to having a nice kitchen to work in. We'll have indoor facilities, outdoor facilities, you have a full playground that the kids can use. We can have meeting spaces for other social groups. If you want to have, you know, the vintage villagers can enlarge and meet over there and have better facilities. We can have other organizations form. Maybe we can get the Sons of Italy to meet up here instead of down in Rochester. So there are a lot of different advantages to that. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, I spoke about this at one meeting, that it should be, the name should be changed from multi-purpose to auditorium or gymnasium.
But
Whereas
it's all of the above.
It's all of the above, but it has to be classified that this is a school, total school function area. And after school, then it can be used as a social program for the adults, not during the day, during the day it's for the kids.
Yes, there's no question about that.
Just one question I thought of that I forgot to ask when we were talking about this school meeting. What's the passing grade at school right now, high school? 7 or?
I think it's
Any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
What's our 120 school over there? What is that due to their student-teacher ratio? What if the teachers added?
They don't, their classes are small enough that they'll be able to absorb our children.
Yeah, we've done the numbers, and for the most part, spreading out the students across all of these different classes, we're going to be getting about 2 students per class, which is not going to affect the class ratios.
And they already assured us that they have textbooks enough for all kids to do all.
Can I ask one more question? Right now, Farmington has a credit ratio, you have to have minimum breakfast and graduate. In your school, it's 26. When juniors, say our juniors come over, and they only have a junior and senior year to catch up on those credits, how do you?
We'll certainly work, there may be a couple of transition years in the number of credits that they have to monitor. Because again, we have to take into consideration where kids are. We have to take into consideration even when kids move into the district, other states or whatever, their criteria might be a little different. So we try to work with those, but we try to also move those, show them up. If they have the ability, we're not going to give them a study hall.
Right.
If they have the ability to take another class for credit.
Right.
So we'll fill up their schedule and get them as close to 6 credits as possible.
Right, and I'm just worried that we have to take their third year.
No, we're not.
We are hoping that we will be able to offer students who will be entering their senior year the option, if they wish, to remain at Farmington High School. That's something that we have to work with the Farmington School Board on, so that if kids feel like they're not going to make it, or they not, then they'll Farmington no longer will finish here, or they're concerned they won't be able to make the credit requirements, they won't be able to graduate from Farmington High School. This is something that is in the hands of the Farmington School District. See if they'll be Patricia.
Just let everybody know, my son was invited to the freshman sophomore, and then we came to the junior year, and he has no problems with writing on his schedule, no problems meeting his 26 credits.
And teachers are teachers, they want kids to succeed. Right. So wherever the kids are, whether they're in Farmington, whether they're in Kingswood, whether they're in Conway, they're going to work with the kids to get them to whatever the graduation requirements are. Any other questions? I'm going to turn it over to finance, I guess. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Were sent to me by Michael O'Brien. Somebody may know Michael. I think she's an obvious photographer. Some of her images are really, really great. So she's very happy that she shared those with us. So I think this is one of the things we all heard the sentiment the whole day. And ultimately, the future walks through the doors of our schools. And that goes for any school, whether it's private, home school, or public school. That is our future. So, right now, how are Middleton students educated? Well, it's all right there. Linda kind of alluded that some of our students are going to Deliberative. That, primarily is for the CCE courses up there. There are a few other students that are going there as well. We put this up because a lot of people kind of get confused with SAU. Sometimes they use Farmington interchangeably with SAU. So maybe we put this up here and just kind of cover a little bit. School administrative unit provides governance and administrative services like fiscal, accounting, fund management, curriculum services, staffing. You might say just to name a few. I mean just to name a few. The list is probably in the statute will fill an 8.5 by 11 page. So there's a lot to school administrative services. So SAU 61 serves Middleton and Farmington school districts. So we took a look back at finances. Back in fiscal year 2004-2005, there was an annual budget of $511,000. Currently, as we amended our article, if you recall, $984,116. Over the past 10 years, it's resulted in county 2.5% budget increase, or on average 6.8% per year. Farmington Elementary tuition, this is their elementary, it's set up pre-K to 8. Again, we took, a 10-year window. You see the values up there. High school, likewise, same values, but not even the same period, time frame. Per our area agreement, there is a rental fee established. And it indicates, when you kind of feel into it, that it goes by the capital cost of the school buildings. In fiscal year 08-09, you'll see the total elementary school value. And I'll just probably highlight the accessory buildings, make sure everybody understands that. There may be a barn or a shared use building, and it's proportionally valued for elementary use based upon the number of elementary students, and there's likewise an accessory building value associated for high school tuition population. So this accessory building value is solely for the elementary students, paid in proportional. So there's a total value of $17 million. In fiscal year 13-14, building value is at $22 million, which indicates that the building values have gone up 5.3% on average each year during this time frame.
And that's something we're paying?
No. This is a baseline value. The 2% rent is based on this. So in essence, what they do is they take that value of 17 or 22 million, they'll take that value and they'll divide it up by the number of elementary students between Farmington and Middleton. So if you came up with, say, 800 students, that provides a value per student. You take that value and multiply it by 2%, that then becomes your rent. Right now, it's somewhere around the area of $500 to $600 per student in rent.
I'm just curious why that's the only property in the world that's gone up in value in 5 years.
Based on your insurance policies. And most insurance policies have an inflation guard, and it just goes up to a certain percentage every year.
So what the tuition calculation sheet says, it says market and insured values of these values. So how much does Farmington and Middleton School District fundraise through local property taxes? Just kind of more stop right there a little bit, because we may fundraise a budget of $4 million for the education of our students, but we need to remember that we receive grant money coming in through adequacy aid and other revenues, and that offsets our expenditure. So this slide here is just going to kind of give you a sense of that. In the fiscal year 2011-2012, the Farmington school tax effort, and this is after they receive revenues, including our tuition as well, is $4,670,000 with a number of 1,045 students per Farmington. That averages out to 4,470 per student. In Middleton, the school tax effort is $2.3 million, 280 students, renders an average of $8,400 per student that we fundraise per student.
It should be feeding them better.
This is the DRA doc is put together, and I put this up here just to provide, some backup to it. You'll see local school tax rate 1278 in the lower right. There's that $2 million value I mentioned earlier. The next slide, same thing. This is for Farmington. The local tax school rate is $9.87, and the approved tax effort is $4.6 million. Area Review Board. Farmington School Board placed on their 2012 warrant, we're obviously on the 2014 warrant, so it's been 2 years. They put on their warrant, their agreement, the place for an area agreement to conduct a feasibility, suitability, withdrawal study. This was done by the board. The warrant was later modified to district deliberative session to remove withdrawal. The district passed the warrant as amended at the second annual meeting. After that, the Farmington School Board requested a formation of an area review board. The statute has two types of ways of going about looking at your area agreement. So the area review board is a slightly different process. It's really to modify and adjust the area agreement, not necessarily to withdraw. It does have provisions in which you could adjust what grades are in the area agreement. You can add grades, or you can take grades away through that process. But primary duty, as stated in the state law, is it shall be the duty of the review board to consider the effectiveness of the area school as a method for providing improved educational services. That is the charge of the area review board. Later on that year, in all actuality, the Middleton board was invited up to a joint board meeting at the CTE program up at Governor Wentworth. And we're actually very happy to get that invitation. It's the first time our board has ever been invited to any type of event like that. And that actually prompted us. He just asked a simple question: gee, do you ever consider our students attending Governor Wentworth? And I received a fairly positive response to that. And that was because that joint board meeting, I think, takes place in May, Jack?
We made May.
Yeah. So I knew this was all here, and if I go that out, we got a nice response to that. Consequently, in November, some discussion on that. We received a tuition abstract in November 2012. We're continuing to meet with the area review board. 2013, the school board placed on the warrant the same language as the Farmington School Board did. Our article went unamended and deliberative, and that was approved with a vote of 167 to 63. Just last December, Governor Wentworth Board of Middleton School Board approved the tuition agreement. The State Board of Education approved the same tuition agreement just last month. And obviously, we all read the article, so now it's up to the voters to approve and ratify that agreement. One of the most interesting things that I found during some of my visits up there, I was putting together a presentation that we did here last January, PowerPoint, and was their vision statement. And it's helping each child create the future. And that certainly resonated with me. I know that the same vision resonated with my fellow workers as well. Tuition agreement highlights: Governor Wentworth provides Middleton students the same education opportunities it provides to its students. Middleton should provide access to all records pertaining to the calculation of Middleton tuition costs and expenses. All career and technology education costs are included in the regular tuition calculation. Governor Wentworth School District is an accredited high school, and our base tuition rate for fiscal year 2015 in the tuition agreement is $10,949. I think that's about $6 cheaper than what you said.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was close,
Nobody can see this, and it's so fine, but this is a tuition abstract. This is really kind of the basis of what the abstract contained. And I do have my sheet here in front of me. Basically, all the highlighted areas were elements of the entire budget that Governor Wentworth has, function codes, and et cetera. The highlighted areas are items that were taken out, and there are items such as school board. So, in tuition that Governor Wentworth is not going to be funding Jack's modest stipend. The superintendent, business services, plant operations, that goes back to the building. Transportation, and debt. There's a bunch of other stuff off to the left, but those are the major columns up on the major elements of the budget. So those things have been taken out of the tuition calculation. accreditation. There's 4 elements in accreditation that benefit the students and the communities. This portion, I just chose one of them because it had to do with the local taxpayer. And I'll let you guys read through that yourself. In essence, what accreditation does, and I guess the first place I'd probably start would be to say that the Farmington schools are approved by the State Board of Education to operate in public schools. There's a certain level of minimum standards that need to be met to achieve that, as well as Governor Wentworth School District schools are as well. But the next level of standardization is accreditation. And the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, the teams that come out are typically made up of higher level educators, retired educators, people who have been in the education business for a number of years. They come in and they look at a whole matrix of various activities within the schools. They look at taxpayer-school relationships. They look at teacher-administration relationships. They look at the teacher-student relationships. They look at the curriculum. They look at the facility. It's just a whole enormous amount of information. And it holds this higher level of standard to schools to achieve that accreditation. Annual cost increases. Farmington High School, there has obviously been some ups and downs over the years, which has made it difficult in our budget process, especially for the board. I say that because I've been on the board, I think, probably 2009, 2010. So I'm sure in 2006, 2007, I might have been one of the guys out in the audience saying, what's going on? Okay? So it really is not a Middleton board's capacity. They don't have control over it. And a lot of us felt that no, we were pointing the finger at the board saying this is all your fault. And I think at one time Linda was in the audience. I remember she was like right here, and she was taking her finger and pointing at me and us and the board saying, it's you guys are responsible.
And here I am today.
So I made a note of her name, I called Bonnie Reynolds, I said, who is that lady? And she said, Linda. I said, you gotta get her on the board.
Thanks. In other words, keep your mouth shut.
So, but what that demonstrates though, is that, sometimes you find out what's really on the other side. And I think even Jan Kayla, she sat on the board for a year filling in on an unfulfilled term, would say the same thing. There's things you see when you get onto the other side that you really don't quite comprehend when you're out there as a resident. And I wish, I know all of us, me and Pat, we wish we could share that information, but our hope is by the end of today, that people have certainly got some knowledge out of this, what happened, what transpires. Yes.
So what really happened on that Farmington side for 2006, 2007?
I really don't know.
Nobody from...
One thing it'll factor in is maybe a substantial change in enrollment because it's proportional. And that's one thing that's going on right now in Farmington is overall there's a reduced enrollment. So you're at a threshold where you can't quite justify reducing staff, and you keep them on, then the cost per student are going to go up, and if they keep going down, it might be justified in letting the teacher or staff member go, and then the cost per student kind of adjust accordingly. Honestly, it's got to be more than that.
I was thinking maybe computer technology started kicking in more.
Could very well be, but that's a very significant initiative.
Yeah,
Is that what happened this year, 2013-14?
I think 4% there is probably going to be a median if we were to wrap it up. I have a previous slide, I think it's 4.71. That's fairly typical right now.
Yeah, I'm talking 2013-14. Could be
All
down.
reduction. Well,
I mean, when we got our
I
tax
can only,
bill,
I can only, I can only speculate on this.
yeah, when we got our tax bill, I said, hurry up, pay it.
Well, the one thing I do know is that in 2004, there was a group of us, called ourselves in Middleton, the citizens concerned about education. We were in the room at that time. There was Janet was one of them. And ultimately what occurred is that the school board enlisted the New Hampshire Superintendents and Administrators Association, and they conducted a feasibility study. That was published in December of 2004. Likewise, in 2013-14 budget, during 2012, as that budget's being developed, we were right in the midst of the area review. I don't know if there's a direct link. I'd have to defer to the administrators on that. But those are the two significant decreases.
Ken? In the 2006 to 2007 number, I believe that was the time frame where a tuition calculation error was found and some money was returned to the town of Middleton in that time.
That's right, yeah.
That's kind of minus the decrease. Took 2 years to get it.
So some of the discussions, we weren't just sitting around drinking coffee and eating cookies. Some of the things that kicked off the meetings was that the Farmington School Board asked that the special education services to middle students be billed separately. They also asked for reimbursement on transporting middle students between Farmington and Governor Wentworth. They also requested the rent be based on building replacement costs, which to me kind of seems that that's the case right now, although no costs were ever provided to us to comparatively to say, is it going to be more or is it going to be less? The insured market value is the same as Middleton School Board requested Governor Wentworth Board consideration of all Middleton students grades 7 to 12. We got Farmington and the continuous Middleton state students. We also requested a financial breakout similar to the Governor Wentworth abstract. Because there were things that were changing the textual language of the area agreement, but we wanted to see what the fiscal results were of those changes. During that process, the board identified that Farmington SAU apportionment, elected officials' salaries were within the student calculations, which we took exception to. Later on, Farmington votes twice not to educate Middleton K to 6 students. This is during last year. Around August, September, because of those votes, we held a meeting in which 2 of Farmington board members were there, and at that point in time, we really were trying to make an appeal, and we made that appeal. Wanda Beveridge and Joel Shack, and Joel was new onto the board, the review board. He was just elected in March. And Joel has some of you may know, very involved in Farmington 500 and throughout the Farmington and Middleton communities. And I felt that that was a good opportunity to say, hey, you know, reconsider, please. And quite frankly, he was very passionate. From what I understand, he did go back to the Farmington board and made an appeal to the Farmington board in hopes of getting change turned around. And I know, I think it was Janet, you had made a comment that
He was very emotional. He tried to get them in the worst way to change their mind. That man, I've known him for a number of years, he was at the point of tears and could not sway the Farmington School Board.
so. One thing I hope that everybody comes out of all of this is that I hope people walk out of here thinking that, you know, Farmington's bad people and all that. Well, they're not. A lot of them just really don't know what's going on. They all have very strong hearts. We've seen this numerous times when tragedy occurs, either in Middleton or in Farmington. And it's mutual. So let's make sure we keep a sense of the humanity of all of this. We have families in Middleton that have relatives in Farmington. So there's an embodiment here that I hope everybody keeps in mind. Todd and Andrea both graduated from Farmington. So,
They didn't turn out too bad.
huh?
And they didn't turn out too bad.
If I don't get reelected, I'll be more than happy to comment on that.
I'd like to introduce myself to, my name is Melissa Dave. I teach in Farmington, 6th grade, and I've lived here, I'm 30 years old. I've lived here 28 of my 30 years. My husband and I just purchased our second home in Middleton. And we have a 3-year-old son at Valley View. And I just wanted to say this is one of the hardest decisions I have to make, having to make a decision. We obviously all want what's best for our own children. And at the same time, a vote one way could detriment my employment, could detriment my coworkers, and all the students that I currently serve. So for me, that's really, really tough. And I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that we are trying as hard as we can with what we have in Farmington. But at the same time, we all want truly what's best for our home. And that's where